So this evening on In Time Country Living, I'm going to show you guys how I'm setting up my sprinkler system that's automated so that I can spend more time working and doing other activities and not have to be out here in the garden moving the sprinkler heads around and watering and other things like that. So I thought this may be helpful to you and some of the stuff that I've learned. And if you have any tips, please leave them in the comments. Let me know what you think, what your experience is. So a lot of what I am doing is based off of what Curtis Stone has done for his market garden and some of the irrigation that he's set up. So this is my version of it based off of what's available to me. So right now I have a Melnor 2 station timer, and what it allows me to do is have up to 2 different stations that come on and off at different times. So this is the timer here. So I currently have 3 sprinklers hooked up, or not hooked up directly to it, but this is the 3rd one here, and I have a hose that goes to a portable sprinkler I can move around to wherever I need to. So that's a handy thing to have because you need to spot water different areas sometimes, especially for germination. I did that on my green beans today, putting the water on them every day here to make sure that they stay moist and they're not going to dry out and die. It's very important for germination to keep them moist. So that's what I'm using today for that. So what I'm going to be doing this evening is expanding my system to 6 zones. So this is a Melnor 4 zone, or what do you want to call, station timer. So I'm going to be adding this to my system, and that'll give me up 6 different stations that can be hooked up all the time. And then so I can I'll probably take one off to do spot watering. So I like to maybe put it on there for maybe an hour or some other place, or maybe a half hour, certain little locations. One of the things that I needed a Y because I'm going to have 2 timers. I needed to be able to put water into both of them. So I figured, well, I need a Y. Forgot to get one when I was at Home Depot, so I went down to the Ace hardware store here locally, and I found this gem here. This was about $8.75 or something like that. And the cool thing about it is it's a full flow, and these are very hard to find, valves that are full flow. That means when you look down inside of them, you don't see the ball valve in there. And that's, you can see these 2 are closed, and when you open them up, this of course is out of focus, but there we go. Okay, that's in focused enough. Okay, so anyway, when you open it up, you don't see a bunch of white in there like you do when it's closed. On some of them, they actually had a single ball valve, same Ace brand, and looked in there, it's like, they didn't make it full flow. It was the same plastic and everything else, same colors. It was like, they could have just made it full flow just like these, but they decided not to. So anyway, but this is a nice little manifold. Put the 1 hose in here that comes out to my garden, and then I have 2 for the different water timers, and actually 3. They did a clever thing. They put a little cap on the end here. I thought that was very clever. It was like, hey, well, that's nice. You can just hook a hose up there with its own little valve, and you have a 5th outlet on here. It's like, wow, what a deal. So when I have two spare, I can put a hose on here. I can move it around to wherever I need to if I need to water. Like to water the trees, or butternut squash that's down there in the orchard area. So anyway, I thought that was a really cool thing. So the other heart of this system is what you call impact sprinkler heads. So these are Rainbird. It says premium, however premium is premium, but whatever. Anyway, they seem to be very good quality. They don't seem to, be cheap or any less well made than some of the, $20 or $30 ones. This was like $6.50. I couldn't believe it. It's like, wow. Lowe's and Home Depot both had them both. I was like, wow. So I got like 4 of them. I only need 3 at the moment here, but rather than making another trip when I want add another one, or one breaks on me, that's another good reason to have an extra handy, but it's a good deal for these. Okay, so let's see what else here. Okay, so I'm going to start running some pipe here. So what I'm doing here for my water lines is using 3/4 inch poly pipe, and they're putting a poly pipe to 3/4 inch standard pipe thread. So 3/4 inch, so this is when you want to look at what it is, 3/4 inch insert to male adapter male pipe thread. So male pipe thread on this end. Couldn't find any that had hose thread, so anyway, you have to adapt it. Okay, so got these, which is a, I guess this would be a female pipe thread to female hose thread. So there is a difference. One's finer than the other, so I want to make sure. And these have washers in them, and they're twistable, so that means I can put this on the pipe, attach this, and I get a hose thread, which the Melnor timers, they're I guess consumer grade, so they all have the hose threads and not anything, I don't know if it'd be more professional, but any kind of other pipe thread or smooth, PVC type connections on them. Okay, so the other end of it, where I put the sprinkler head, is going to have, this is a reducer bushing, it's called, and it's a 3/4 inch to 1/2 inch. So all the sprinkler heads are 1/2 inch. Most of the ones that I found. So the sprinkler head will screw into the inside of this one. There's threads on the inside and threads on the outside. And fortunately I couldn't find one with threads on the inside. It would be nice, because guess what, that could just screw directly on here, but couldn't find anything like that. So you have to use coupler, I guess it's called. Threads, 3/4 inch pipe thread on both sides. So that screws on here, and the screws in the middle there. And then you put your sprinkler head in here, and then you attach this to a piece of wood that you drive into the ground, and there's your sprinkler head. So that's about as inexpensive as you can get, as far as I know, to get a nice sprinkler head set up somewhere. And it's going to be a stationary one. It's not going to be like movable every couple days or something like that. You could, knock the wood out of there and move it, but most of the time these are just going to be set up in corners of the garden and areas where I can have it come on and do its little job and shut off, and I don't have to worry about moving these things. Okay, so the first thing I got to do is to turn the water off for the hose coming out to the garden, and then I'll put the manifold on and the timers, and then I'll start running my poly pipe to the different sprinkler locations. So another thing that I was going to get is one of these. This is a neat little brass fitting I found in Home Depot, but it doesn't have a valve on either end like a lot of them. This is one of the cheaper brass valves, but it has a very tiny little hole in there, and so that cuts the flow down quite a bit. See, like on these, look at the hole size. This is even smaller, so it really cuts the flow down. So this is about as smooth of a transition, so I can hook up a hose or just mainly wash washing tools off with this one, and then it just hooks up to a hose, and the valve's on the other end. So this has a very nice smooth fitting in there, so that keeps my water pressure high. So anyway, got that turned off, so let's go finish up the rest. Okay, not too bad. All right, so here's my main hose coming out to the garden here. Okay, so put that on there. Okay, just shut these valves off. So I'll continue to make a puddle for myself to kneel in here. Now, this one is on this side, so I'm going to put him on this far side, and we'll see how, if we get lucky on the other one. Looks like it's right in the center, so hopefully I can make it fit on this one. See here, I may have to put, I was thinking I may need some short hoses to run out to the different timers. I may still have to do that. Alright, so this has got the manifold and so, I don't know if I can go on top or not. Anyway, the hose valve, the little screen in there. So, oh, that works fine. Okay, good. Fits. Not a problem. Of course, I can't stick any more on here, but okay, and then there's a little wire, right? Yep, a little stubby wire. There's a little porch in the back here. This goes into, like so. Battery compartment, which they didn't, of course, give me any batteries, so I gotta go buy some more. And then this guy will slide there. Okay, means I can turn these guys on. Okay. Okay, so here is a 100-foot roll of 3/4 inch polypropylene, I think, or polyethylene, I don't remember which one it is. Polyflex. So anyway, this is nice about this, it is actually kind of flexible. It's about as flexible as PEX is. So if you've ever run PEX, it's about as flexible as that is, which isn't very flexible, but it does kink a little bit more, so you gotta kind of be careful with it and pull it off and then unroll it wherever you're going, so you don't try to peel it off and then as you get a loop, as you kind of pull on it. I actually kinked one, and so I'm learning the hard way that you kind of got to be careful with the stuff. Okay, so take this end and put it over there by the timer, and then start unrolling to where I'm headed here. Probably do the far one first. There's a sprinkler down at the far end. I'm going to take this to, which I think is around 75 feet or so. I'll stick a rock on top of here so it doesn't move. And I'm going to go outside my garden bed here and start unrolling here. A lot further than I thought it was going to be from what I was imagining and doing my calculations in my brain here, but we probably have 10, 12, maybe 15 feet of pipe left, so anyway, that's fine. It's just I was hoping to use that on another one, so we'll have to see if I can still have enough pipe to get all my runs done. Okay, so the next step is to get a fitting put on the end of here. So, see what we can find here. One of these, and before I put that in there, put a hose clamp on there. Put that on there like so. And shove this guy in here. And it's kind of a twist in too. Okay, right up like that. And so I like to use a socket, 5/16 to tighten these down with. It sure saves. These are just, doing it with the screwdriver, you're always so liable to slip off and dig right into your skin. So, got a friendly mosquito here. Got him. It's that time of night. Usually around 8 o'clock or so, all the mosquitoes come out and start to eat me. So sometimes I got to stop my work in the evening and just say, forget it. It's not worth getting eaten up for. All right, so it's on there good and tight. Okay, so it's going around this way, and I'm going to screw my thing on that same wet direction. Okay. So I'm down here where the sprinkler is going to be set up here, and so I got a 2x4 that I sharpened and treated on the end there so it doesn't rot away. So I'm going to pound this in, and notice this one has been previously pounded. This is left over from our building project. Oh, let's see here, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. This is at the edge of my garden bed here. Exactly where I want the thing. Somewhere right about here. So it's not wanting to go in, so I'm going to go get my pick and probe around in the hole there and break it up a little bit so I can at least get a stake in there. It's just not wanting to go in, so there's probably a bunch of rocks underneath that area. Okay, got my pick here. See what we find down here. I also got a blackberry bush in this area right here too. So I should have got the Maddock one because clear out this area. It's pretty hard down here. Okay, let's get the stake in now. That's a little bit dirty. So, to measure on this, how far I want to come up. I need to get my strapping up here too. Run it up the back side here. So right about here. It's a little bit low. So a couple inches below the top here. I'll put it down. Looks like about right. I'll cut it off there. Clamp. Put that on there. Okay, so I'm going to get a strip of called plumber's tape. So it's just a galvanized metal band that has a bunch of holes in it. Okay, I'm going to do a second band here at the top here to keep that nice and vertical. There. Sure enough, works cleaner than the saw. Press it back. If you get a kink in it bent like this, you can go the long way and kind of just squish it back with a pair of adjustable pliers. Had to do this on this run. I was kind of trying to get the bend out of it and went, oop, too much. Got a kink in it, so I had to go fix it here. First thing, to stick the hose clamp on there, don't forget. And so I got these threaded all together with the thread seal. Just press that on there, like so. Run that up there. Now, this always takes too long, so I take this part off and use this to get it started. It just takes too long with the ratchet there. Or the screwdriver at this point. And when it gets tight, I snap that back on and crank down on it. So, and I don't know how tight to do it, just good and firm without cracking the plastic. Stop before you think you might crack anything. Okay. Put that in position. Smush it down a little bit here so that it'll actually stay there. And then actually just put a bend in it right there. That will encourage it to stay there. Now, since it's not going to want to stay there, I'm going to put a screw in there and encourage it to do so. Okay, there. Perfect. Okay, so I got some batteries in my timer and got the time set on it here, so I'm going to plug it in here. Now generally these Melnor timers, all the solenoids are usually open when they're shipped, so if you turn on the water, all the stations will shoot out water, so you want to make sure you turn them on and then off again, let them click it off so they'll all close. Okay. Got the water on. Let's see what we got here. Geyser out here. Let's see what we got here. There's some glugging over here. So we got water coming out of 1 and 3 here. Got it working here. Got the 3 of them hooked up and on the new timer, and then 2 on the other timer. So I'll stick a hose on, a short hose on the 4th station there on the big timer, and hook it up to a sprinkler right here by the timer, so that'll cover this area here. Okay, so I have it on 2, 3, and 4 here, so I can hit in manually. The manual option there, and then I gotta hit it again if it goes way too long. Okay, and then zone 1, hit the zone button to get to zone 2, and punch in 1 minute and OK, and then that turns it on manually. So you can see there that is zone 2 over there, blurping out. So as soon as I get a sprinkler head on there, that will be functioning. So it should be flushed out by now. And then I'll shut it off here. So hit manual, zone 2, and 0, and OK. So it takes a good 10 seconds for it to decide to shut itself off, which is kind of annoying, but there it goes. So that shuts itself off. What do you see? Are you watering the plants now? Okay. What plant is that?
Squash?
Squash?
Yeah.
No, what does that look like?
Cabbage.
Cabbage, that's right. That a fun thing to play with? Okay, so I got the timers and the hoses hooked up to them and tested here, so now I need to get the sprinkler heads put on and try to adjust them and get everything working right the way we need to. Okay. Put them in, screw it on. Not too complicated. It doesn't even have to be real tight, just kind of finger tight. It's kind of nice to be able to remove them. Okay, so alright, so here is the top part. These come with this little height reducer, so it modifies the height of the spray pattern, and so there's like a minimum and maximum. This is like the fat side here, so I'm just going to turn it to the maximum here, which is the opposite of min. It's a little confusing on there, but it just brings it up slightly, which is fine. And then it's working okay. And then we have these little settings down here. So there's two of them here. And you move them around so that this little thing needs to be down. Oops, okay, there you go. So that needs to be in the down position here, and this will set the stopping point. And this will be the other stopping point. So I'll set this over here so it's pointing to the edge of my beds there, and then it'll come over here, and I need to stop over here. So move this one over here, up against there, so it'll go from here to there, and make it a little bit more. Okay, stop. There's also a little screw adjustment here that adjusts the mist to more of a stream. So it basically limits the distance that the spray goes. So if it's going too far, you can screw it in a little bit and that'll bring it back. So I also wanted to quickly mention that if you don't want to go out and buy poly and you have a bunch of garden hoses, you could use those. I actually ran out of poly and need to go get some more. I want to finish this off because I don't want to tie up my regular nice garden hoses. Also, if I haven't mentioned, my favorite garden hose is the Craftsman 100% rubber octagon shaped hose with, I think it's galvanized, well, I'm not sure if it's galvanized or not, but they're steel. As far as I know, endings on them. They're very good quality. I've had them for years and really like them. Really good feel. The hand, good, fairly good for kinking, not perfect, but better than a lot of the other ones I have. Nice and smooth here, there's no rough edges, very well made. I got these for about $25 on sale. I haven't checked recently in Sears to see what the going rate of them is, but you know, for a 50-foot hose, it's pretty decent cost, and for a good sheath on it. So anyway, my little plug for that. Alright, so anyway, so I got this plugged into one of the outlets there, so I'm going to attach it to this one here. Okay, so what you're going to need is the garden hose fitting to the 3/4 inch, actually, yeah, so since I already have these are 3/4 inch, but you can actually get these to garden hose to 1/2 inch. So you wouldn't even need the bushing if you had one of those. So that would be something to think about if you can find them. Home Depot had them, so that'd be some place to look. So this is a bushing 3/4 inch to the 1/2 inch. So put those in there after I put the thread seal on there. This has the black washer inside, so that should keep it from leaking there. And attach it like that. Okay. Right where I want it. Okay, so I got my sprinkler head. I'll just slide right in there. Finger tight, that's all you need. So if you press down slightly on this and then turn this turns freely. Otherwise you're kind of riding up. So there's, yeah, right there. Okay. Then set it so I want it to water. Well, you got asparagus right here. It's really not going to get hit too much. So So I might as well just start it about there. Oops, these guys aren't set right. I need to be in between them here. Okay, so there. And then pull to where it needs to start. And then I need it to go over here at a 90-degree angle and hit, basically point it at the other sprinkler, which is that way. So we'll have about a 90-degree range here. Good. And then a little bit of tightening down on the screw here. So really tight screws. I don't know what's wrong with them. They're awful tight. I feel like they're going to twist and break off. Be careful with them. Alright, so got that one set. So that's what you can do with a garden hose. So if you don't want to use poly, or you don't want something that's so permanent, or just easier to deal with too, because in the winter you probably want to, put some of this stuff away, clean it up, at least take the sprinkler heads on, maybe put a cap or plastic bag with a rubber band or something over the end of this if you want to leave it here. So anyway, this gives you another idea what you can do. Okay, so I got 6 sprinklers all set up on the timers, ready to go. Seems like they're all working well, so I'm going to set them to run probably around 10 p.m. and have it go through the night when there isn't other competition in the house from water pressure. That also would be a cooler time of the day, so less evaporation. So that is one of the downsides of using overhead sprinklers, is that you get a little bit more evaporation. So if you're really conservative on or had to be careful on your water, you may want to go with like a drip system, but the drip system is going to be a lot more expensive than this. So I think I put about $200 into all the pipes and fittings and all the sprinkler heads and things like that, and the timer. So not too bad for what I'm getting out of it. We're getting basically my whole garden watered here. So if you like this sort of thing, be sure to like my Facebook page. Go to my Facebook page if you're looking at this on a group or some other place. Click into End Time Country Living and like the Facebook page, and that way you'll get updates. Also, if you're on my YouTube channel, you can subscribe, follow me there, and share this with your friends. Leave a comment. That would be much appreciated. Talk to me, ask me questions, give a suggestion, something like that. That'd be great. And give me a thumbs up on the video. That helps other people find it as well. Alright. God bless, and see you on the next one. Bye-bye.